This is a project that I have been working on for a very long time, almost a year in fact, and it is very similar to my typical work in progress, but I will be working on a cross-stitch conversion, and I will also be answering questions and reading off comments that have been left for me. So grab something that you would like to work on and let's get started. Hey y'all, welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie. Today I'm working on my cross stitch conversion, which I have not worked on in a very, very long time. I am only at 35% on this. I'll really get into it. I'll work on it for several days and I put it up for months. But hopefully I will be able to get this finished. I wanted it done by the end of this year, but I am not sure if that's going to happen, and I'm actually okay with it. I love doing this, but it just takes up so much time, and I spend it on my other diamond paintings, and then by the time I get back to this one, I am tired. I don't want to have to think. So anyway, we're going to work on this together today, probably for about an hour, and I am using Pattern Keeper. So I can show you this. There's a glare because it's trying to pick up on my tablet. You're not going to be able to see my tablet, unfortunately, because I've got to have it closer to me. I'm working on these this little 8 section here. If you are not familiar with Pattern Keeper and cross stitch conversion, I am just converting a cross stitch pattern into a diamond painting, and you have to buy a blank canvas. Luckily this one has numbers on it, so it does help me. I'm definitely using Pattern Keeper. I just follow the pattern and hopefully it will turn out to what it's supposed to look like. I did purchase all of my materials from Evermoments. I have the canvas as well as all of my drills, and I am just going to be working on this a little bit, talking to you guys. What I did on this one is that I did a voiceover. I've done this before. It helps me because I don't have to think about it. I can just work on this, and then I've already done the voiceover, and what I did, or what I'm going to be doing, is go through comments. It's actually been since March that I have done this particular project with you guys, and that's probably the last time that I actually worked on it. So I'm going to go through those comments, and I still have not gotten us current to June, but that way I can do this again in another few weeks or so. So I hope that you enjoy this video, and if you'd like to work on something, grab something that you want to work on and let's diamond paint together. You guys, I have not gone through and read messages and made comments since May the 23rd, which seems really crazy, but I just didn't really have, I don't want to say I didn't have the time, but just didn't follow through with this, I guess, and thought I'd go ahead and do that today. And I'm going to also diamond paint, and I am going to be doing a voiceover on this because it is really difficult for me to count and try to read at the same time. That's like, you know, walking and chewing gum, as they say. But I thought this would be something that I could go through, and then you guys can either watch me as I am putting drills down, or you can listen and work on whatever that you would like to. So going back to the diamond painting WIP and chat, the first comment was from Craftiest Kristen, who said, the irony that a lady at a Bible journaling retreat decides to judge others. Maybe Jesus spoke to her directly and gave her the authority to judge others. And she also states, I wouldn't go back with food that you don't enjoy in a strict schedule. It sounds like work, not fun. And this was right after I had come back from a retreat that was, my best friend and I thought was just a Bible journaling retreat. And it was where you could just take your Bible journaling and you would just, you know, color or whatever with your Bible journaling and stickers and then journal. And it ended up being more of devotionals, and we were on a pretty strict timeline. They would tell us when we needed to be back to listen to these hour devotionals, and the food was mediocre at best. and towards the end, we couldn't even eat any more of it. We ended up just eating some snacks that we had taken that they were pretty much healthy snacks, but we just did that because the food was just not what we were used to. And it basically reminded me of a kids' camp when I used to go to camp when I was little. And it was almost like that. So I could definitely see the resemblance of how a strict Baptist, Southern Baptist Bible camp was. So that's where all this is coming from. Excuse me. That's where all this is coming from. And the next one is Diamonds for Linda. States, my kids have always liked salmon and shrimp, but probably not made how the retreat you attended prepared it. Love the painting you're working on. I am kitting up my J-wall from the one with the diamond art and not really enjoying it. Wish they had a better, simple paper. Have a good week. And yeah, I had a problem that we had salmon and we had shrimp there. And I am not that picky, but it was pretty bad. And then they had kids that were coming in for that night, and they were doing basically kids camp for the weekend. And I thought, why would you have shrimp or salmon for kids, and especially prepared the way that they did? I mean, they would want, burgers and, kid-friendly food is what we used to call it when my kids were younger. Chicken strips, hot dogs, and not this salmon that we couldn't even eat. So I felt kind of bad for the kids, but I think they ended up eating it. But also with the one with the diamond art, I had a very hard time with my black and white canvas. I ended up not being able to finish it. I ended up giving it away to the art department at a school that I'm affiliated with. And now they have come out with colored canvases for Josephine Wall, as well as a symbol charting. And I think that they have the sticker paper. I have not purchased another one yet. I am trying not to buy any more diamond paintings right now because I have so many. I want to work on the ones that I have. I've also purchased a couple of newer ones that were smaller and not J-Wall, but from a different company. But I do want to try and see what their colored images are like, because the black and white ones gave me such a migraine that I just had to stop. I just could not do it, unfortunately. And Diamonds and Dragonflies says, sorry that your retreat wasn't totally enjoyable. She would love to attend a diamond painting retreat, but they are all so far away from her. And then she said, glad you had some card making retreats close by. And yeah, there weren't any diamond painting retreats close to me either. I am going to the one in Ohio, and that's in a week and a half. So I am really trying to get everything done so I am ready to go. Next year, there's going to be a Southeast retreat that they're already signing people up. That one is going to be in Virginia, and that's about 8.5 hours away from me if I were to drive. I am going to sign up for that one, and I don't know if I will drive or if I will go ahead and fly. I'm not sure yet, but I have a year to decide. But I am definitely flying to the one in Ohio. And if you're interested in retreats, there is a Facebook group that has a listing of retreats all around the country. If I remember, I will put that link underneath the description box, and you can just go and look at that and see if there's anything that you might be interested in. I would say that it would be almost too late this year for sign-ups, but you never know. Something might end up coming through. Lisa Noof says, hi Debbie, that retreat sure sounds like a letdown. Hopefully if you go again, you can opt out of the meal plan. And I don't think we'll be going again. If we do, then we will just go ahead, bring our own food. There was a microwave in the hotel room, and we've done that before when my best friend and I rent a cabin. We'll bring our own food and we just heat it up, and it works out perfectly. So I'm not sure if we'll go back again, but who knows? I know that they have 2 or 3 retreats there a year, and we may decide to try it again and see if we like it better, but highly. Jackie Unger 5713 says, thanks for the update. I was wondering how it went. Nothing worse when the food isn't good. That's very, very true. Have a great rest of your week and happy Easter to you and your family. So that's how far back I've gone. It wasn't even Easter. So this is before May. Nothing worse when the food isn't good. That's definitely true. And I'm glad we had snacks, or we would have been in a little bit of trouble, or we would have had to have left and gone and got something to eat. But there was nothing around there, or we would have. The next one is from Carrie Conlon. Says, hi Debbie, your retreat sounds like one hot mess. Definitely was. I think you two need to go back to the other place for your next retreat. Don't think it's a problem not seeing your hands. Sorry that someone got mad. After all, we all know where the drills are going. Can't wait to see a second tour of your craft room. I just finished organizing mine and I'm still cutting up my paper. It's such a tedious job, but it's got to get done. I only have 2 bins so far. And then she says, thanks for keeping me company and sharing your crazy weekend. Overall, it sounds like you had fun and the pictures are beautiful. I've never seen Intercoastal Georgia and it's very beautiful. And yes, we did have a great time. We could always have a fun time together, whether or not, no matter what we're doing. So that was a lot of fun. And I also just had fun being away, and it was a beautiful, gorgeous place. It was outside of Savannah. Okay, the next one is from Laurie Joseph. Says, hi Debbie, I'm glad you had a nice time at your retreat. Sounds like you at least got to enjoy being with your best friend for a few days. I would have gone in search for a grocery or a restaurant. Yeah, we had talked about it, but we really just didn't want to leave. And we didn't even really have enough time because we had like an hour for food break. And then right after that, then we started up again. And so we didn't want to come in late. That would have really looked bad on us. So we ended up doing okay. But I'm glad we went, but not really sure if we'll go back. Scrapping Sylvia says, hi Debbie, sounds like you had a very interesting adventure, that's for sure. And thank you for sharing, my friend. And yes, it was definitely an adventure. It's always an adventure when my best friend and I do stuff together. Something always happens. It was just kind of sad that we did not get to enjoy as much of the retreat as we wanted to, but we still had a good time. I just realized I told you guys the wrong date earlier. I think I said May 23rd. It was actually March the 23rd. So it has definitely been a hot minute before I have done one of these videos. The next one is from Craftiest Christian, who said, printer problems are the worst. You feel helpless when it doesn't work properly and no one can fully figure out how to fix them. Her husband used to work on giant printers that print materials for billboards and large things, and he said they were easier to fix than a home printer. And it makes me feel better because I feel like that I'm halfway tech savvy with printers anyway and computers, but I am always having to deal with our printer. When our printer works, it is a great printer. It prints so well, it's so pretty, the colors look good, but then when it doesn't print correctly, you have to fight it and fuss with it, and I just want to throw it across the room. Now it is printing, but it is not copying or scanning, which I need both of those. So we're going to have to end up getting another printer, and I think what I'm going to do is just keep that printer downstairs with me in my craft room and then buy a new printer upstairs, and that printer I'll just have to use for scanning and copying as well. But at least I can just get simple things to print if I need it when I'm downstairs, and hopefully that's going to help. But it is just absolutely ridiculous. We go through the printers. We've had this one for a while just because I refused to buy another one. Otherwise, it would have been thrown out a while ago. Let's see. Carrie Conlon says, so glad you are cutting up your paper like me. It does get tiring because it's tedious, but it's going to be so worth it. She's cutting up a few packs right now. She thinks a tiny house on a property would be amazing. A ranch-style home is great to keep her updated. I had so much trouble with printers until I found a really simple and light HP. And then she did send me a picture of her printer, and I am looking at that one. I can't remember if that one scanned and if it actually copied. I think it did. But my husband and I are just going back and forth of what we're planning on doing. But soon we're going to get definitely a printer that does what we need it to. And I am cutting up my paper that I have for my cards, my cardstock, because I think I will use it more. Instead of having it in 8.5 by 11 or 12 by 12, I am cutting it to a size that I can use for my cards to use as I've got a template set up, and then I also will be using all of the paper as like foundation background, and that's what Carrie's referring to. And it is just taking a really long time to do. I did it for a little bit, stopped for a while, and need to get back to it. But right now, whenever I need my paper, I'm just cutting it whenever I need it because it is so tedious, and my hands start hurt at the end, and I don't want to just sit there and take time to just sit for hours and cut paper. But something that needs to be done, I think I will be able to store it easier as well. And the next one's from Lisa Noof, says, hi Debbie, I like kitting up providing there is no static or at least minimal, but I think I'd be overwhelmed with the max color kits, especially trying to figure out what a lot of the symbols are. And then she says, sending prayers for Zoe to feel better. And that was in March. Update on Zoe. She did get worse, did not do very well. We realized that there were some other problems that she had that we weren't even aware of. So we had to end up sending her over across the Rainbow Bridge. We have had issues with Molly since then. So we're thankful that we do, have Molly and that she is doing okay. But it's been really hard on Molly, of course on all of us too, but Molly is our almost 4-year-old collie, and they were just best buddies, and they played so well together, even though Molly was so large and Zoe was so small, but Molly was so careful with her, and so now Molly is taking what she had learned from Zoe with being a smaller dog, and she is going to a pet hotel, and she's going once or twice a week, and she is working with some of their little puppies, and they all love her whenever she goes, and it gives me a little bit of a break from her, because she's been just wanting to be right next to me all the time and barking a lot, and that's just not like her. So we're definitely working with her, and if you hear in the background, I am trying my best to get her to be quiet. She is really good until I start on videos, and then all of a sudden she starts barking, or she wants to go out, or she wants this, she wants that, she wants my attention. And so we are working on that, but hopefully that will end soon. And I love to kit up, and I mentioned this before, that I would love to have my own company where I can just kit up and charge for kit ups. And I've actually thought about it a lot, to where I could send prepaid boxes or flyers and mailers, and you could, the person that wanted to have a kit up service could actually send their drills to me, and then I would kit them up and send them back for a small fee. I haven't done that yet. I am thinking about it. It sounds really good, but I don't know how many people would be interested in something like that. But there's been so much static lately too, that I've tried a lot of things, and sometimes there's static and sometimes there's not. And right now I just can't figure out the rhyme or reason. Why do some of my drills have static and others don't, and they are in the same place, and they're stored in my craft room in the same place, the same way for all of them. And sometimes I'll open up a box and I'm like, oh, this is great. These are not any static at all. And then I'll open up another one and they're just popping everywhere. So I don't know. I thought that it may have been because of winter and the dry heat, but I'm having problems year round with mine. So I'm not really sure what's causing that. And Kimba's Craft says, "Oh, Madison is so cute. I love that. I love that." I forgot what this was about. And she also she loves it that they downsized. And I really want to downsize. I told my husband, if we move, I want to downsize. I do not want a large house anymore. I know exactly what we want. I know what we need. And he's agreed. So we'll see. We will eventually get to downsize. And let's see. Jonna Woods says, "Hi, Debbie. Great video. What a sweet call from Madison." She entered the JWall 2024 event today. So excited. Finished her kit up and started diamond painting. Really like the black and white canvas. It will be exciting to see the picture materialize. Same reason that she prefers counted cross stitch. She looks forward to my progress review on Thursdays. And now I know what Kim was saying about Madison, that Madison had called and I had mentioned that Madison was doing some of her internship at the hospital, and she had to go to a nursing facility. And so she was saying that she would never allow me to go into an assisted living. And she said that she would never allow her sister, who's special needs, Paige, to do that either, that she's going to make sure that we are taken care of, whether we have a tiny home in the back of her house or whether we have a basement or whatever. So that was really sweet of her. I was really surprised that that even came up. So we had never even really talked about it before. So that's what that was referring to. And the JWall did end the end of May. We did have a really good time. I am planning on having that event again next year. And I don't know, I don't know if it's going to be the same months yet. I'm assuming that that's what I'm going to do, but I have not decided yet. So hopefully that if you guys were part of the JWall and that you enjoyed that as well. Let me go back to comments. Okay, we are now up to April. So Kay Winnington 4612 says, "Debbie, so many questions regarding videos. I really don't care when creators put out their videos. She just watches them as they come out. Her big problem is all creators that she likes put out videos early in the week, so she runs out of things to listen to by the end of the week." And I am that way too. There's a couple of creators that I do follow, and by Tuesday or so, Wednesday, I don't really have anything to listen to unless they come out in the middle of the week and they do like a special video. So I do listen to a lot of audiobooks. I've gone through some of those too. I've been listening to podcasts. And let me know what you guys like to do when you are diamond painting. Do you listen to music? Do you watch TV? I try to watch some TV, but if I do, it's like a movie that I have in the background that I don't really have to pay attention to. And it's one sometimes I've already seen. Like I'll put on Harry Potter quite a bit and I will listen to it. Just some things where I have something in the background where it's not just dead silence. And then sometimes I will listen to music, but most of the time it's going to be just listening to someone, talk. Again, a lot of audio books. I'm really starting to get into those. And I didn't really like them that much until I started diamond painting. And then I was wondering what I was going to do because my books were getting, pretty low of me, trying to read any. And I usually like to read at least 50 books a year, if not more. And I barely read 20 books last year, and that was pushing it. So this year I thought that's got to change. I'm going to have to figure out something. So I am starting to like audiobooks more than I have in the past. And now I am at least getting some from the library, but then there are some that you have to wait forever. I'm like number 40 something down the list of one and 235 on another book. So I'll probably never see the light of day on that one. But, we'll see. Maybe somebody else will drop out because they'll be further down too. Or I may just end up just deciding I cannot wait on this book any longer. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. But that's kind of the only thing that's annoying, is just that the library takes forever on a lot of the popular books. And the next one's also from Kay. Says, regarding what I am working on an older Diamond Art Club kit, Randall Spangler Dragon. I cannot talk today. The drills are driving me crazy. They aren't trashy, but the gapping is driving her nuts. And she has to remind herself that the gapping won't be that noticeable once she turns off the light pad. She thinks it's more aggravating because everyone brags about Diamond Art Club so much that it sets unrealistic expectations, especially for these older kits. And definitely, the kit that I was working on for this particular WIP and Chat was Satara. And that one was my oldest diamond painting in my stash. And I purchased that the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. And just now getting to it. I have finished that one, and there will be a completion post, I'm hoping sometimes by the end of this month, before I do my month in review. But that one had acrylic drills. Didn't even have the resin drills. There were a lot of trashy drills on that one. The black was absolutely horrible. So I had to get black 310 out of my stash, which I had plenty of in my my little box that I keep, which was good because I also had two colors that were missing. And this hadn't even been opened. This was it's a new kit to me because I hadn't opened it, but it's been sitting on my shelf since 2021. I purchased it in 2020. It took a while to get to me, and then I got it in 2021. And it didn't even have stickers. I mean, it was just crazy. So I totally get it about when you go back and you're working on some of the older kits, which I have quite a few of. And it just makes you appreciate Diamond Art Club more and more as you're working on the older ones. Or at least for me anyway. So I totally get that. And it's not straight. It's just, I've got some lines, some rows that didn't even have the symbol. And I knew it was supposed to be 310, but the symbol wasn't even there. So I put 310 down. And when I did, it started looking better. But it was rather gappy. But you'll be able to see that one hopefully soon. Let's see. She also says personally she doesn't watch unboxings because her taste in art is different from most creators. So she's not interested in the kits being shown. It also drives her crazy when the creator reads off the DMC numbers for every color. And she says nor does she need to know what is in the toolkit. She thinks we have all seen our fair share of toolkits. And I totally agree on that one. I don't do that many unboxings on my channel unless it's a sneak peek. And then I enjoy doing those. I have not done unboxings for the majority of what's in my stash. I will basically unbox that kit as I am getting ready to kit it up. And I am not going to go through and do a stash video. I did that when I first started my channel, and it took days and days. And then it took me days and days to have to go back and to put everything up because I took everything out of the boxes. It was mostly Diamond Art Club that I had at that time. Took almost everything out of the boxes and showed those, and then I had to put everything back in, including the drills, and then put it back on my shelf. And I thought, no, I am not doing this again. I enjoy seeing stashes just to see what other people have, but It is not for me to have to go in and to do that. So I do apologize if you would like to see a stash video. I at one point thought about taking all the stickers out of my Diamond Art Club and put them in a binder. I have several that are in there. If I open them and I do unbox them for some reason, then I will go ahead and put those in there so they don't get bent up. But I don't want to go through all my Diamond Art Clubs, open them, and then put the stickers in my binder, which would be kind of nice because then I could see exactly what I'm looking at in relation to what project I want to do next. But I have gone in, I've opened all of my boxes recently, actually a couple days ago, and I did put all the small stickers from Diamond Art Club on the outside of all the boxes. I did that much so that I can see very quickly what I have and what I want to work on next. But otherwise, I don't unbox until I am ready to kit up. So if you see me unboxing something, more than likely I'll be kitting that up soon. Let's see. I asked a lot of questions on this video. And it was my birthday too on this video. So Kay answered another question. You asked about what you've been doing. She has had quite a good time the last few months. She's been running around the South, attending concerts by the a cappella group Home Free. And she says she's been to Nashville, Oklahoma, Dallas, Biloxi, and Huntsville, Alabama. Since she was in Biloxi and already on the Gulf Coast, she got to spend some time with a good friend of hers who lives in Pensacola, and she spent a few days there too, Florida. It was great fun, but now she's back home and back to work tomorrow. So sounds like that she had a great time, and I have spoken to her since then, and she had a nice road trip. Sounded really cool. But once you get back home from all of that, or at least for me, it always gets to where it's like, okay, I had a great time on vacation. I'm exhausted. I would like to just go home and rest. But no, I feel like I have to get up, do all my laundry and everything else, put everything away. And then when you go back to work, it's like nobody's done anything. They didn't do anything to help you. And so now you're going to need another vacation in order to make up for all of your overtime and everything you're going to have to do to get caught up for work. At least that's how I was always when I was working in an office. It was crazy. And Kay also says, sorry about your loss of Zoe. She's going to be facing the same dilemma soon. She has a 10-year-old Russian wolfhound who is rapidly declining. He's losing muscle mass, can't stand for long periods, and sleeps a lot. And the vet did a full geriatric exam on him, didn't find anything specifically wrong. It's just old age catching up with him. And she says that 10 years old is really old for her type of dog. And then she says being large dogs, they have a relatively short lifespan. And Zoe was 14. She had just turned 14 when she passed away. And she wasn't even showing any signs. She was still running and playing and just having a good time with Molly. She was keeping up with Molly in the backyard. And it's hard to keep up with Molly because she is a border collie. She is used to running. And that's just the type of breed that border collies are. They're working dogs. And little Zoe, with her little legs, she was able to keep up with Molly. She would go 2 or 3 times around the yard, and then she would stop. And we have a fairly large yard. And then I knew that something was up because she quit doing that. She was sleeping a lot. And I just didn't want to admit that I knew that the time was near. But I'm glad that we had her as long as that we did. And she made us all very happy. So I'm sorry, Kay, about the dilemma that you're going to be facing. It's a really hard decision. It was really tough. But I think that they tell us when they're ready. Elizabeth Warman says, hi, Debbie. Good evening from Southern California. A very happy birthday to you. How cool your gemstone is diamond. What you are doing in regards to YouTube is perfect for me. She says she normally watches a WIP and chat or unboxing. Then she watches Origins Explained. She watches TV. Then in the evening, she watches Medusa Touch, which she loves, all about legal stuff. She's doing well. She said last week she had epidural injections. And then she said the only thing that her doctor forgot was the lidocaine. So the injections really hurt. Oh, ouch. That does sound awful. The entire Easter time, she said that it rained, and now she's saying it's raining on weekends. She says even though the weather geniuses are saying rain is over with, she says that she checked the weather radar, and yes, more rain is in California's future. She's been on 3 cruises, 2 on NCL. Second cruise was aboard SS Norway. The third was of the Mexican Riviera with Carnival Lines. She says that her parents went to Alaska on Holland America, and they always cruised with Holland America. Went on the small boat to see the glaciers. Her dad called out, "Look there, the ice," which sank the Titanic. She said her dad was joking, but some people believed him. And then she gives a little bit of Titanic history here. She says to give a little Titanic history. At 2:20 a.m. on Monday, April 15th, the RMS Titanic sank. And she says she will go to my Facebook page and send me a photo of Herschel. And Herschel is her puppy. And, well, he's her senior puppy. And he is so sweet. And I love seeing a picture of him. He's a really pretty dog. On the Norway, I have gone on the Norway before. We actually went on a 2-week cruise. This was years and years and years ago when they had the Norway dry docked for an extended time and they were doing renovations. And we went on the cruise right after the renovations, and it was a beautiful ship. I love that one. It was older, but we had a wonderful time. We've talked about going on a cruise again, my husband and I. He's only been on one cruise, and now he's talking about possibly wanting to go on another one. So we'll see. I don't know. But he has definitely been talking about it more and more, that we should go on a cruise. A nicer cruise than what we went on the first time. And let's see. Sherry Sterner says, "I've missed your videos, but I should understand when you lose your fur loved one." Her husband and her went through the same thing, and they cried for 2 weeks. She says the hurt is real for sure. And she says her favorite Pooh quote is, "If there ever comes a time we can't be together, keep me in your heart. I'll stay there forever." I love that quote. And then she says also, "Happy birthday and love your channel." So I am really going far back from April 15th, and that was really sweet. I really did appreciate that. And yeah, the hurt was really bad now. We're able to talk about her now and just remember, the good memories that we had with Zoe and all the fun times with her. And let's see. I do love that quote. I actually have that quote, or I did when my kids were little. I had that quote that my mom sent them on a pillow, which I thought was really sweet. They still actually have the pillow. Christy Bigelow says, "Happy birthday, Debbie. Hope you had a wonderful day." And I really did have a nice birthday back in April. Next year, though, is going to be a big birthday for me. I'm already dreading it. And I think of how old I am now. I'm like, oh, I have 1 year until a big birthday. And my husband just looks at me and laughs because his big birthday was this year. And he's like, "It's no big deal." Of course, he says that. He's a man. So I keep telling him, "You're a man. It doesn't really hit, I don't think, men as hard as it hits women. But I guess I'll survive it." Let's see, Craftiest Kristen says, happy birthday, love the Kallax. She has so many of them upstairs in her house. She usually watches videos that pop up as recommended. It picks and shows creators that she will watch more often. She doesn't assume a person's video will come out on a certain day because things happen in life. Then she goes into her subscriptions and she watches things that looks interesting at the time. And I do the same thing with creators, and it's not just creators for diamond painting. I listen to a variety of creators, and I really enjoy doing that. Never did that before until I started diamond painting, and I really didn't even get on YouTube until I started diamond painting, and now it's like I'm on YouTube a lot and finding different channels that I never have heard of before. And I do love my Kallax. I have 2 in my craft room, and they are just the perfect type of accessory for me, to where they have cubbies, and I have a lot of my diamond painting things in there and a lot of scrapbooking or card making. I'm getting rid of all my scrapbooking. It's going to be just cards and just for Bible journaling, but I have plenty of paper and things like that. And now I am putting quite a bit in my Kallax that is diamond painting related, but they are really nice. They are from IKEA. Let's see. I've lost my place. Okay, here we go. She also says that she tries not to unbox things unless she plans on kitting them up so she can work on it. If a company asks her to unbox something, she'll gladly do it. She just doesn't want to go through all of her paintings and film unboxings just to have content. And me too. I don't want to just do that just to have something out there, because I don't know how many people really like to watch unboxings. And typically I won't, because if I go and I see somebody unboxing a diamond painting, if I wasn't interested in it and I see it and maybe it will be interesting to me, then I'll want to go ahead and buy it. So I just try to stay away from unboxings unless it's something that, I'm interested in, that I want to see, if it's something I want to do, or if it's, sneak peeks. I like watching those too. But yeah, I'm not going to film it just so I have content. I'd rather not have any content than just to throw something in there. And the next one is Becca's DP Journey says, happy birthday. Thank you. Let's see. I think this is Karen Pethy Bridge. Says, happy birthday. Us April babies have to stick together. Her birthday was that Sunday. She says, hope you have a good day despite losing your fur baby. I sure do know the feeling. And so I did put on here as under my comments, I hope that she had a great day too for her birthday. Then we have Elizabeth Peterson says, happy belated. And then we have Deborah Allender 7444 says, hope you had a wonderful special day. She's sorry to hear of our loss of Zoe. She says several years ago she lost her mini Datsun Max of 16 plus years. And she says, like Zoe, he had really slowed down, and she missed him horribly, and she still does. And she says that several people were advising her to replace him. And she says in her mind there was no such thing. She says, anyway, I'm thinking of you. It is an incredible loss, and the feelings don't resolve themselves quickly. Take good care. And yeah, we had some friends that said, well, why don't you just go ahead and replace her, and that way Molly won't be so sad and Molly will have another friend. And I said, there's no replacing her, because all pets, they're like people. You can't replace a person. You can't just replace a dog and say that that's going to take the place of her, because that never would happen, especially, for me anyway. And I think that Molly would be happy because she's lonely. I know that she is, but I'm not ready to go and get another dog yet. I don't know if I will be for a long time. And every day Molly does get better. So I'd rather just wait and see how she's going to do. She's doing okay with our cat, and they're not buddies or anything, but they do tolerate each other. They go around to stay away from each other, basically. But, we may get another one, but we want to move in the next year or so. So I want to wait and see what happens to that before we decide what we're going to do. And in my mind, if we were to buy another dog, I would want to get another collie or another rescue collie. But we would probably have to get a smaller dog. I love collies. I just really do. And I think that Molly would like to have another collie friend. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. And let's see. Jamie O'Neill says, she's sorry about my fur baby. It's hard to lose part of our family. She's working on her J-wall. She's about 75% complete. She said that she's so excited to finish, but the confetti is really slowing her down. And she's very close to running out of one color. Hopefully she doesn't need many more. She says she's sure she has some spares if needed, and see you later. And I hope that she did not run out of drills. I don't know if she did, but I told her that if she needed any, I might have some that would match, and didn't hear from her. So hopefully she did not run out of any drills and she didn't have any problems. And the confetti does slow you down on J-walls, but it is definitely worth it once you finish it. I did complete my J-wall, Fly Me to the Moon, and I will put the link in the top of the eye or underneath the descriptions, one of the two. And if you have not seen that completion, it is really pretty. Turned out gorgeous. And I am already missing doing a diamond painting Deutschland, but I'm going to refrain because I am working on a couple of larger canvases right now. And one is the Dragon Seasons, and that one is 50 by 235 centimeters. So I don't want to add another large one and another very heavy and slow-paced confetti diamond painting yet. So I'm probably going to wait and do another one next year for the J-wall. Okay, the next one is keep going on here. Jonna Wood says, thanks for another enjoyable video. She's fine. I'm watching videos whenever they show up on her feed. She says J-wall on the black and white is kicking her butt too. She went from very big to small sections as well. And I tried that. I was doing larger sections thinking if I do a larger section, it will be easier. But it wasn't. It was very difficult. So then I tried to do smaller sections and ended up just having to give that one away because the migraines were so bad. I just could not do it, unfortunately. And the next one is from Lisa Noof. Says she knows it must be very sad one this year, my birthday, due to the loss of Zoe so recently. She said, don't worry about not doing many videos. She knows that I need time to grieve, and she says everyone will understand. Take care of yourself and enjoy your dinner, and she says hugs. So I did take some time off, about a week and a half, didn't have very many videos, and I was going to, and then I just did not have the energy or the bandwidth to be able to sit down and do any videos, so there was a little lull there. I'm trying to get back on track just now. It's taking me a while. And the next one is from Deborah Call. Says, happy birthday. Hope I had a great day. And I definitely did. And then we have one that is user FP, and then quite a bit after that. Says, hope your day was wonderful. So sorry to hear about the loss of your fur baby. It's always so hard to say goodbye. She's working on Fuji Floral from Diamond Art Club, about 3/4 done, and can't wait to see it completed, and says thanks for the chat. I think I said she. I should have said they, because the thumbnail of this person is a dog, so I don't know if if that is a woman or a man. It doesn't matter. I have Fuji Flora in my stash. I would love to do that one. It looks like a lot of confetti, and it's going to take a long time, but I definitely want to do that one. And Charlotte72 says, sorry for your loss of Zoe. Hugs and cuddles to your cat and your Molly. It's never nice to lose a fur child. She said she cuddled her Molly a little extra. She's sending thoughts our way. She's over halfway through her first JWAL picture. It's one of the smaller ones and only 120 colors. I love that. Only 120 colors. For most of us, that's a lot of colors. I like the max colors. I know that a lot of people don't. They said they think that 120 is going to be really intimidating. But really, if you kit up the way that it works for you, it's really not that bad. But when I saw the 120 colors, I laughed whenever I was reading this, and I responded and said almost the same thing. That's still a lot of colors. Let's see. The next one is Diamond Paintings by Laura. She says, sorry for our recent loss of Zoe. It is one of the worst feelings ever. And she says, hugs to you. And then we have Momo Grimes says, big hugs on your fur baby. Take your time on returning. That's really sweet. Thank you. Then I have some more that says, happy birthday. Diamonds and Doxy said that, as well as Leslie Diamonds put hearts out. I'm moving up some more here. Jackie Ugger says, happy belated birthday. Hers was on April the 9th. Doesn't matter what day you post anything, as she usually gets caught up on the weekends. She says she does like unboxings just to see other artists' work that she hasn't seen. She says that her best friend is going on an Alaskan cruise in June. She will ask which cruise line that she's going on. She had another friend who went last year in June, and her pictures were absolutely beautiful. She says it is a beautiful country. Her deepest condolence to me on Zoe, and she says it's hard. Take care. And we had talked about going on an Alaskan cruise, and then my husband said, well, if I'm going to go on a cruise, I want to go somewhere warm. And he had been talking about an Alaskan cruise for 2 years. So I don't know what made him change his mind, and he said he really didn't know if he'd ever go on another cruise, and now he's starting to talk about it again. So I need to get with him and see if that's what he really wants to do. Okay guys, I am going to stop here for today, and I got a little bit done. And if you notice, if you were happening to watch and there were a few seconds where you didn't see me do anything, I was marking on my pattern keeper, marking off the symbols, and I hope I'm not having a problem with my tablet, because it took me sometimes a couple of seconds to keep pushing on it so it would mark them off. So I hope I'm not going to have any problems with it. The only thing I use it for is for pattern keeper. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like button. If you are not a subscriber, I would love to have you here. And if you made it this far, put something down in the emoji, a flower. And you can also put, comments down if you have any questions on this. I answer all of the comments. And until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.